Okay, so I'm in the eMotimo booth with Brian Burling, founder of the company. Why don't you just tell me just quickly about what you do?
Sure. So eMotimo, that's how we pronounce it. eMotimo works too, but eMotimo is how we say it. We build precision pan and tilt heads that do quite a bit. At its core, precision pan and tilt head. It's a little less than 4 pounds. It's meant to travel to a lot of different places. It's meant to be super easy to set up and connect to a whole lot of devices. We focus on the digital SLR market to be able to support cameras that are about 8 pounds or less. Really, 5 to 7 pounds is the sweet spot in here. And we also connect to a whole lot of different dollies that allow us to get some really neat 3-axis motion. So we're priced at about $885 for the black model here. It's our latest version, and we're selling it now right through our website. Got a couple distributors in Germany as well, but really trying to get the word out and tell people what we do, because we do stuff like this. We have some great professional shooters out there that have shown us what we can do.
I guess just looking at the product here too, and you're saying the weight range of up to about 8 pounds or so. What happens when you go beyond that weight range?
So people have actually put reds on it, and they've gone a little bit over 10 on it, and it actually works out just fine. Nothing's going to break, nothing's going to fail on the device. But in environmental conditions, when you push it out into the field and you have wind conditions, we're not going to be able to resist those as much with a heavier load. So if you're in studio with a heavier load, it actually works out great. We've had some wonderful results. It's a fully repeatable head, so when we want to get that real accuracy right there, having a sort of a mid-range camera allows us to do that easily, and without any environmental conditions, we can do that with a larger camera level.
I guess in terms of programming, can you kind of do a run-through of how you program this thing?
I think that's something we've looked at how some of the other devices are programmed in the space, and I think we've done a pretty good job at making it super simple. What we want to do, we use a wireless or wired. It's a repurposed Wii remote. You might recognize this. It's a gaming remote, and the neat thing about this is they're inexpensive. They work really well though. So we had a customer who's went through and their dog ate one of these things, and we said, oh, well, here's another one for 15 bucks. So it's really easy. It's a great remote, and we can do things just with these 2 buttons that are really intuitive. So I'll run you through a start point. I'll run you through a quick two-point setup. So we're going to do a new 2-point move. I hit my C button to move forward, and now my head is live. I can pan and tilt my way through to the shot I want to start. And I'm looking through my viewfinder or my live view, and I actually want to say and frame exactly what I want to frame. So we're not setting velocities, we're not setting general motion right here, we're really setting exact points. And we're frame for frame repeatable here. We're pixel for pixel accurate. So at the end of this, when we shoot our shot one time, we can shoot it as many times as we want.
I guess how many points can you specify in that?
This is the one we're shipping right now. It's a 2-point move. We're just finishing up a 3-point move in beta. We've had really good results from our professional users. They're coming back and they're saying this is really offering quite a bit more. So multiple keyframes are a possibility in the future. We've got some out in beta right now.
Is it a lot of trouble to program extra, like to add that kind of capability for extra?
Actually, it's been a programming challenge, but we figured out the math on it. So going from 3 points to 10 points isn't. What we also want to do though is make sure that we keep the user interface, keep that super simple. So it's not difficult to program. We can make this super complex, but when you're out in the field, you want to set things up quickly. We're really trying to make it super simple, easy to pick up and use. So it can, just because it's simple to program, what's underneath it is very complex, and it can actually, if you want to go through and tether it to a computer and do some more complex moves, you can do that as well with a few off-the-shelf pieces of software.
Okay. So, like, I guess the back-end programming is all open source in a way, or you guys have a development kit of some kind?
We do. It's open source. We're part of OpenMoco, which is Open Motion Control, and we make our firmware, all of our betas, publicly available. So if people want to hack it, so we have most people are using the off-the-shelf firmware as it stands, but there's a few users that go out and they want to do something new with it. We have a shooter that we have one of our pros that does productions with the BBC, Nat Geo, and he actually takes our boxes and we build custom firmware with him to be able to control lighting rigs, to be able to control much heavier camera systems because the interface is so flexible. So, but let's finish out this right here. We set our start point, set our end point, and now we can either do SMS, which is our interval shooting. That's basically when we trigger a digital digital SLR to shoot, then move to another position, and then shoot again. That's how you're seeing most of the time-lapse work. But since we're here and it's not very exciting to watch that, we'll set it up for a video mode. And so we set our start point, set our end point, we set video on it, and now we're going to say, let's run that video over a fairly short period of time so we can see it. We selected 8 seconds. I'm going to set up a ramp value on this too. This is helping us define our starts and stops so it looks cinematic, so it doesn't look robotic.
Okay, so does it like, just in simple terms, that's why there's like a slow startup, slow.
It helps our starts and stops look much smoother. If we turn this way down, they'll look more abrupt, they'll look more robotic. If we turn them way up, really smooth starts and stops. Okay, so we set that to for a value right here. And if we were shooting SMS or the other, we have the other parameters that we can set as well to help out define the shot, like lead in, lead out, static frames at the beginning and end of the shot. But for video, we can just click on through that menu. You can see we actually have gone back to our start point, and it's waiting for us to say go. And we will say go by hitting our C button, and it's off.
What's the price point on it?
And running. $885. And we're wrapping up. You can see it probably comes to a stop. And then we're also given the option to repeat this. So if we want to take that exact same motion, I'm just going to keep on, we're prompted to say repeat. I'm actually holding down the C button and I'm going my way through that menu process again. It's going back to the start, had all the same parameters, and we are now shooting that exact same move again. In post, you can go through and layer those on top of one another, and let's say that first shot was in the daytime and the second shot was at nighttime. You can go through and you can layer those and do cross dissolves between them, and you can do a lot of what the Planet Earth series did, which was cheating sort of seasonal changes. So it's pretty neat having a repeatable three-axis motion controller is for this price point. We think is something special.
Awesome. Okay, so I guess for powering up this device, like how do you supply power to the motors?
We use 12 volt DC. We have a big pack on the bottom that we sell. It's a 12 volt. Basically, what's underneath this is a SLA battery. It ends up being, this is pretty heavy. This is about 5 pounds, but it ports into a barrel connector on the side, and really it's like like a lot of devices. We're 12 volts DC. We need about an amp and a half. So this is a solution we sell, but we also integrate to. We also can use much smaller packs. There's some great lithium polymer packs that you can buy that are $50 to $100 that can give you 2 to 3 hours of runtime, or up to about 7 or 8 hours of runtime.
Okay, interesting. Does it come with any power supply at all?
We have an AC adapter, so you can plug it into mains. Yep, when we're selling people, oftentimes we don't know what they're doing. They're going to be using it in studio, or they're going to be jumping on top of a mountain. So it's if they want to go lightweight, we got that option. They can buy it relatively inexpensively online, or if they want to go, if they want to stay in studio, we already have the AC adapter, or they want to go overnight and do some good astrophotography, go with the heavier weight option.
I guess, and speaking of the third axis, and I guess this really, like the reason why I'm actually in this booth is the guys at the Poly booth told me to come here. But
Poly guys are great. They're really nice.
Yeah. they're interested in actually how you could. Well, I guess they've already noticed that some people have interface.
Sure. So yeah, there's a lot of crossover here. We're not trying to do everything at eMotimo and offer linear solutions as well. We think there's a lot of great solutions out there, like the Poly Dolly. Dynamic Perceptions also has a head that we integrate with too. So the idea is on this side we have several ports. We have a tilt port, we have an I/O port, we have an auxiliary stepper port, and that's really the key to the TB3. This product's called the TB3. The 3 is the third axis. So we've got a built-in controller in here that already controls the pan and tilt, and then also when we're programming this thing, we can use the accelerometers in here to drive a third axis. So when we're talking with guys like the Poly Dolly, we already have customers that have hooked up an external stepper motor right into the side of this port, and right there, without any additional electronics hardware besides the motor, you can control all 3 axes, and you can get repeatable 3-axis moves with it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, Brian, I guess that's it. That's awesome. Thank you.
It was nice chatting with you.